All right. Hi. I will be your host today. Can everybody introduce themselves?
The audio is bouncing.
Okay, give me one moment. Hold on.
And we have we have the wrong book on my title, but that's fine.
Okay, is that better?
It's less, yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, can everybody introduce themselves?
I'll start. I'm Carmen Mendel, live in Baxter, Minnesota with my hubby and son, and co-own Nate's Property Maintenance with my hubby.
I'll go next. So hi, I'm Hanya. So I am a content creator of Hanya Travels, and I do many different initiatives in the community.
I'll jump in next. My name is Megan Dirks. I'm on the East Coast of Canada, and I am a brand strategist and recently also an author. Very excited to celebrate that with She Rises.
I'll be next. My name is Ine Marie Bredekamp. I'm talking to you all the way from Dubai, and I am emotional intelligence trainer and coach.
I'm Cheryl Morris. I'm in New Mexico, and I am a healer, and I work with women to get them to understand the spiritual side of their business.
Hi, I'm Shraddha Chanwadkar. I'm a self-esteem and mindfulness coach. And I'm here from Atlanta, Georgia. I live here with my 2 teens, husband, and 3 cats.
Hi everyone, it's so lovely to be here with you. I'm Hannah Darby. I'm a holistic healer and grief therapist. I'm based in Worcestershire in the UK.
Hi everyone, I'm Erica Elliott. I'm with Warrior Heart Healing Hearts, is what the business I own. I am a brain health mastery coach, counselor, author, and speaker. Sorry, there's a lot of reverb.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So what does it mean for this to be more than a book? How is it a movement?
We have a lot of background noise out there. And
Why would you say Nice Girls Finish first as a movement?
I can go. So I think it's more like a movement because everyone in their life has experienced some kind of bullying, some kind of form of depression that later affects their life from bullying. So I think we wanna change the narrative on that.
Mm-hmm.
We also want to realize lifting women up is a lot better than cutting them down. So, and we can all win if we work together and we collaborate as opposed to competing with one another.
Compassion and collaboration is the way to go for all women in these times, or it has always been important. Bullying never lets you go anywhere. It's a dark hole. So it's highly important for us women to come together, collaborate, and move ahead in this world, and also be a guiding light for the world.
As we entered this time of quantum physics, quantum energy, one of the most important parts about it is collaboration. And women supporting each other is so important at this time. And women tearing down women has to be stopped.
I think we also come from a time, I love social psychology and studying norms, and we went from a time of the Me Too movement needed to happen, but it facilitated women going way to the other side of being really mean and bullying, and even bullying with one another. And so I think that it's a pendulum shift to come back and say, wait a minute, is this really what we want our kids to go through? That we want to teach them? We really want to teach them learning balance and high level conflict resolution skills, right? And so I believe, this movement is something that's very needed all around the world for the next generations to come.
Yeah.
I agree 100% on the balance. I feel like we have a lot of extremism in the world on all sides, and the last thing we need is to be taking extreme approaches and attitudes and behaviors to each other instead of elevating each other. So a lot of what I spoke to in my portion of this book was learning how to be nice, which I chronically overgave and undervalued myself for years, and getting to a place where we can do it still serving, but also knowing our worth and our boundaries. And boundaries don't just mean setting them to me, but also implementing them in a way that we're not mean or aggressive on the other end either.
I can't agree with you more on that one, Megan. For me, I come in from emotional intelligence. I went through the heartbreak of my husband passing away 18 months ago, and we are an expat family, so I had to go through all of the stages of finalizing paperwork and everything in 2 different countries, so I had to do it double. Seeing how people work with you if they have compassion makes it's so much easier. But if they don't have compassion and they have a lack of emotional intelligence, it makes it so much harder. So my mission is to basically bring back humanity into the world of AI, because we constantly move like robots without emotion, and we don't think of the value of the other person in front of us and what they might be going through. So I would like to bring the emotion back so that we learn to love our neighbors more and handle them as we love ourselves as well.
Yeah, I think as women, we've found it so much easier to kind of be nasty to each other rather than be nice to each other. And I think this really has to stop. And I think this is a movement showing that compassion, remaining authentically true to yourself, is the ultimate key to success. And that if we all work together, we'll rise together.
With me, my chapter is about internally bullied, because I've actually been bullied a lot from my own family. So on one side, there was, from my mom's side, there was a cousin that I really wanted to marry, and I got bullied for that a lot for like over 10 years. Even now, I don't know where he is, but I know he is wherever he is in his life, and he didn't want to talk to me even then. And how he responded recently, it affected me a lot, because I was supposed to, like, how I think you were talking about the way how you had to deal with 2 different countries. With me, I had to deal with everything online in that, and it was so many messages, and no one would let me talk to him. And on the other side, I have my dad's side cousins, and they were just bullying me just because I was in the same field as them. So there's a lot of career, like on your I mean, like career, as in like for your like goals and for your professional development. I got bullied on that, and also just for being in the same field. Just because I'm also in a career, so are they. So I've been picked on it a lot, but I try to stay in my lane, try to collaborate. I do whatever, but it's very difficulty dealing with a group that pushes you down. And mostly it was my own cousins from both sides. One was to do with marriage, the other one wasn't to do with marriage. It was to do with comparison. That who has more blogs and who has more videos.
I think it's important too to look at, and I wrote my chapter, we desperately need Jesus from a faith point of view. And just looking at the fact that none of us are perfect. The only one that can be perfect is Jesus. And that we need to tap into those fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And when we do that, we naturally elevate not just women, men too. I mean, we just elevate people and we treat people the way that they need to be treated.
I agree. Faith is very important. Even for me, I often just take our religious book and I start reading because I need strength to deal with all of the bullying that I face and all the criticism that I get all the time, just for being good and being an emerging artist.
Are you able to eliminate the echo?
I'm sorry.
We think it's coming from your end, the platform.
Oh, okay. Well,
We have at least three of us who have our mics on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. When I started working on my chapter, I knew that it would start when I was working in vision, because I was in a union of 2,000 men, and I was the fourth woman in the door. And those challenges were difficult. And the best part about it is the four of us supported each other all the time. So later, when I had women working around me who were trying to make headway in their world by walking over myself or someone else. And that just was one of the most horrible things to deal with in a business.
so what do you think this collection, how do you think it redefines being a nice girl in the terms of success?
Well, in my chapter, I went through a number of points with this woman. And at each point, even though it hurt me, it may have injured my profession, but I just stuck with who I was. I held my space, and I didn't go after her. I just stepped away because it wasn't up to me, but it was up to me to stand up for myself. And there's actually a pathway to where my world is now and the work I do now. And it moved me in the right direction, to put it that way, without letting go of who I was or getting into a fight with her, not physical, but emotional or mental. I just kept stepping beyond and making the next step in my world. And I hope that gives people an idea, a way out of something that may be a problem for them at that point in time.
So I talked in my anthology part more about what I taught my daughter about healthy versus unhealthy communication skills, because I wasn't taught that as a kid. Nobody taught those things. My family didn't teach those things. When I went in the military, I learned certain parts of it, but not so much. As a counselor, though, I saw how important it was to understand, like, what is healthy, what is not, and teaching that to couples and individuals who just are trying to navigate a conflict of any type. And so I think it's really important for us to remember those things, that these aren't things you're just born with. It's really about us helping educate individuals of, like, this is what's healthy, this is what's not healthy. Here's how to get to a healthier level in that.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree with you, Erica. On the second portion of my chapter, there's like 28 key things that I've learned, and I just outlined them. Just to name a few, I've got: be not susceptible to petty jealousy. Jealousy can cause trust issues and insecurity in relationships, hindering both personal and mutual growth. Be dependable. A quality woman is true to her word and follows through after she promises to do something. I'll just read a couple more. Be honest. Honesty is a valued trait that plays a crucial role in every area of our lives. And be forgiving. Forgiveness is an attribute of strength. And holding a grudge can only harm you and not the other person. And I've got 28 of those that I outlined in my chapter. So Erica, you and I are like right on the same wavelength.
Carmen, that's a whole other book. No, really. You know, just saying.
For me, my chapter, I also did something similar. I also put in points, and my points were about gender-based violence, comparison, professional development, being professionally bullied, and being family dynamics and being bullied in your family. So those were the things that I talked about.
Yeah, very good.
In my chapter, I have dealt it a little differently. I mean, I have also had points, but I didn't have experience of bullying in my life, but I had the other side of the experience, where I had several different women who have stepped up and helped other women and collaborated and showed their compassion and expressed their compassion. So I have 7 qualities exhibited by these women in my book. And I feel that it's highly important that most of the times we feel that we win by bullying, but actually when we show unconditional love and we don't want anything from, we are not looking at any outcome for ourselves, that's when actually we win.
Very good.
Yeah, my chapter looks a little bit at kind of my history of being bullied as well, and shows you really how deep that these words can cut. You know, it's not just something that happens at that time, it has lasting effects. And I think we all just need to treat everybody with more care and compassion. And my chapter is called Ignite Your Inner Power with Kindness, because I truly believe that it is through being kind and compassionate that we can truly blossom into the amazing women that we're destined to be.
And it's always collaboration over competition. That's one thing which even some people, even that I know now, they don't understand the concept of it. You can do everything nicely without having to compete. You could just be, collaborative. Like, let's say if you also do a YouTube channel, you also do a show, and I also do a show, we could do a show together for once. We don't have to think about, oh, my show is better than yours or this and that. That's very immature. So, you have to think about immaturity. You have to think about some things again, and you have to collaborate. which I've seen tons of ladies, they don't understand that I work with in the past. Some now do that I work with currently, but some I work with throughout my life and who I went to school with, they don't understand that.
Something that came up as I was in the midst of this book is being that I'm a bit older than most of you. When I first started working with women as a healer, it was when women were first getting into corporations as something other than the secretary. And their mentor, their idol, was a man. I mean, to the point that they were wearing suits with their shoulder pads and all. It was kind of laughable but sad. And when I think back about that, when I was working on the book, I realized that possibly some of this meanness comes because that was what they were presented with when they went out into the workforce. Working for men who are a little, we won't go there, because, but there is, you have to get over the other person. You do whatever is necessary. And women throughout history and supporting each other and caring for each other didn't work that way. So we have that ability within us to just be caring and loving. And I think in the book, we bring that back and we point that out, because if you've been raised in a different world, a different sense of things, where it's about fighting your way up, it's not the way we do things. And women need to come back and bring that back in their business and in their spirit, because we can make a difference.
I love that, Sherelle. And I'd tag in on the back of that as well as someone that very much loves looking at feminine and masculine energies and how they play into not just our personal life, but definitely our business life. And
Absolutely.
I think we absolutely need that balance to be able to bring that feminine energy and the nurturing side and the caregiver side and the service side, where I love to focus on being a connector and elevating. And right now, after putting out our anthology, I have 21 amazing ladies that I get to share opportunities with and say, hey, you're going through that? Maybe you should talk to Erica. Maybe you should talk to Hannah or Sherelle or whatever all of our awesome specialties are. That's one of the funnest parts for me.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we did early on when I was looking in developing my understanding of shamanics and shamanism is that we both have male and female energies. The thing is to learn how to dance and which one you put in front of you to lead. And it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing skill to understand how that works in a way that has worked for 6,000 years. So we can bring that back strongly.
With me, I think everyone has a story to share. Like, we've all been through something. And that's why we connect really well when it comes to this anthology, because it's the same goal, right? Everyone has dealt with bullying in some part of their life, work, home, school, somewhere. So it affects you, but we all get a chance to share our stories.
Mm-hmm.
Sherelle, I'm going to follow up on one of the things you said. As you know, my brand is Flourishing Over 50. So I started out in the tech world quite a while ago, and we didn't just have men as the only people we worked around, but we actually were assigned what we could wear, and it was literally business suits, but with the skirt instead of pants, and we had the little bow ties. So I don't know if you remember those times, but it was a very toxic environment, and you either had to move up or move out. And there was a lot of placing blame. There was a lot of toxic competition. And so when I left that to work for a startup that was run by women, one of the things I talked about in my chapter is how all of a sudden my sales performance just skyrocketed because I completely changed the way I approach sales, to focus on a more collaborative approach, not just with the client, but also with my company.
Yeah. Oh, I remember those. I mean, I've been with DEF CON for almost 30 years. And it went from being only men to having some amazing women. And it's balancing out in interesting ways.
I can speak from that as well, being a stockbroker and financial advisor for 8 years, being in a field that was predominantly men. But now there's lots of women, you know, that are in that, have entered into that too. So the balance does shift.
Yeah.
Just being respectful to everyone, you know. I mean, it really, like I said, it goes back, for me personally, it goes back to the fruits of the spirit. Are we practicing those? Are we understanding those? Are we, you know, daily thinking about those things with everyone?
I also think it's really important to teach individuals that it's okay to disagree and not have to stay in friendships that are unhealthy. I can say from my own life, and one of the reasons I wanted my daughter to understand it, like, you can love someone, you can pray for them, you can encourage them, but if they choose to do unhealthy behaviors, it may not be the best friendships to have, right? So my daughter is an adult now and has amazing friendships, but I remember helping her navigate through friendships that were really bullying. Nobody taught me that. So what I did is learn to be a workaholic. So I would just, my friends would stay over there, but even if they had bad behaviors, I would just move into working and avoiding the conflict, right? And so I always remind people, we become like the 3 to 5 people you spend the most time with. Is that the character that you want to uphold? And if that person's not willing to work through something that is unhealthy or toxic, then that might not be a relationship that you need to continue with. Now, sometimes we don't have that ability in the workplace. We have to just continue to work with them and navigate that as best as possible. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go hang out with you and have lunch or dinner later, because if you're not willing to have that kind of a healthy character relationship, it's also okay to say, I have to expose and keep in a bullying situation, even family. I've had family where I've said it's okay.
That's how I know it was bullying.
Have a
And as we
relationship.
got older, they just became mean, and I don't know where they are and which part in the world they are. Those were my very few first friends. But then later on, when I got older, and then the chapter that I wrote about, the when my own cousins bullied me, that was like, you know, that felt really toxic. One side it was toxic from my mom's side, because it was only one-sided relationship with the guy I wanted to marry. So that turned into bullying in a way, because it was just like, it was getting unhealthy. It was getting unhealthy to some point that, you know, when I found out he got married, it's just like, I spent crying 2 days, and after that, I didn't bother. And with my dad's side cousins, they only care about who has it's like a popularity contest. So they wouldn't care that, okay, that, you know, I'm in a different country, they're in a different country. They don't look at those dynamics. So it's only they can be popular. It's like a popularity contest. So that's the way how I was. That's the way how I see it. But I can relate to it.
I think it makes a difference. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go ahead. I was going to switch the question, but you can go ahead.
Oh, no.
I was just going to say, too, it depends on age groups, you know. I mean, a lot of my difficulties were back in middle school, you know, where you had difficulties with friendships or guy relationships, any of that stuff, all just craziness. And I remember coming home in tears a number of times. And my solution was to jump on my horse, bareback, and ride to the back of the property. And he was my Tennessee Walker. Ed was my best friend at that point in life. But, so as you grow older, you grow thicker skin, you have resilience, you start to learn how you have conflict resolution with some of these situations that happen. And that helps too, just maturity.
Mm-hmm. In my training as a practitioner, one of the things that came up from a terrorist situation, and realizing that we are all one, and therefore we have that light of the divine within us, everyone. And that night we spent a lot of time looking at the picture of this gentleman who had just killed someone, till we could see the light within them. And that is a good thing.
Well, what is the collective message?
I would say collaboration over competition. Definitely, that's a collective.
When we win, everyone wins. You bring people along with you. You don't just go out for yourself and try to do the best you possibly can do. You're helping others to achieve that as well.
Yes.
They say one of the benefits of being kind is the oxytocin, all the happy hormones you receive from the acts of kindness. Just witnessing an act of kindness between two people is enough to make you happy. But when you're the giver, never mind. So if we all figured that out in this world, I think we'd be a lot happier. Another thing is inner peace. If you don't have inner peace, you can't project anything to anyone. So I appreciate the fact that I've become an author, because I kept quiet for the longest time. I was not able to express what I felt was an injustice, was being heard, voices that were left by the wayside. I'm glad that I got enough to look at myself and say, no, enough is enough. Now leave a legacy of hope instead of bury yourself in your pity.
I think inner work is very important. So the collective message is that work on yourself first, empower yourself first. When we empower ourselves, it's very easy to be compassionate and collaborate. So first things first work on yourself.
I love that. And I also think it is also that we're all here educating, and you're just like, I didn't grow up with a family who taught me conflict management skills. There are going to be lots of beautiful, amazing women who are reading these books and who are going, oh, like, I didn't know that. Oh, that's helpful. Oh, I could do this. Oh, I can say no to that. That's not a healthy communication skill. So it helps, I think, empower us when we can educate one another.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. We do these chapters because we want to share our experience and inspire other people to be able to step through that experience if it comes to them. And with all the voices presented in this book, and there's a lot, I think we cover things so beautifully. And so whatever you're going through, whatever is tearing you down, there's a voice in this book to help lift you back up.
for me as a collective message for sure is that strength doesn't have to equal mean, and kindness is definitely not equal to weakness.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part for me.
For me, I'd just say that let's show the whole world that kindness conquers all and that nice girls do finish first.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
Who's
ladies. I appreciate your input. Oh, you can go ahead.
well, it was just a joke that came. It's like we just need t-shirts. We need t-shirts.
I agree.
Yeah, for sure. But I appreciate you guys joining in the platform, and we appreciate your stories. And everybody watching should definitely go and purchase this book. Uh, But we thank you for your time, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless everyone.
Have a good day. Bye.